الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to Him, and peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair for inviting me. Jazakallah khair, Brother Mansoor. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, Man la yashkuru nas la yashkuru Allah. The one who does not say thanks to the people, actually, practically, he is not thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Jazakallah khairan for this invitation. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let this gathering in the coming few minutes, one of the reasons that we all gain the ajr inshallah, and to be from those who are mentioning and doing the dhikr in the best way for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this location of this earth. You don't know when any one of us will leave. Now, the title that I was asked to talk about basically is the philosophy of Hajj and sacrifice in Islam. You know, in 24 hours or in 2 days, we will start the last or the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And we are in the months of the Hajj. All of us, we know the Hajj. We know that at a certain time, a Muslim or some Muslims, they are going there. They travel, they do the tawaf, they do the sa'i, they stand in the place of Arafa, they sacrifice. We all know this. My role today, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I want to go with all of you with a quick, beautiful journey, and I will do my best in the attitude of a storyteller person to go back to understand the big picture of the Hajj. Because Hajj basically is a simple part of a much, much more bigger thing. So that when you or anyone else Hajj is mentioned, or he or she is about, insha'Allah, to perform the Hajj will have another taste. Because when you understand, you enjoy. If you don't understand, simply you are wasting your time. That's why it's a 40 minutes of an attempt to joyful understanding for a beautiful part of our religion. So I want to spend 50% of the time with the journey from 0 points. Hajj, as I repeated, and I can witness at least 20% of kids. Those kids, inshallah, I hope they will leave this place having a good, nice idea. When Hajj is mentioned in front of them, they are proud that they are Muslims. It's not just, hey, we are living in the 21st century, we are the people of science, people of logic. You go and just, circle around the black books and you kiss a stone. Come on, hey, use your mind. We are, okay. You need how to defend your identity. You need how to explain the why. But this will be by going back to square number one. Square number one. Very quickly, I will be sending messages. My style looks like I'm painting a big mosaic picture. You will see pieces. Then out of a sudden you will see the big picture, inshallah. So I need your concentration, please. Do your best to understand each point by itself. Then I will show you the connecting thread between these pieces to enjoy, inshallah, with me, the big picture. Now the first message. The first piece of the puzzle, if I may put it in this way. Now, message number 1. Big picture. We are part of the creation. And we believe, by the way, what is the most and biggest common ground between us here now? What is the biggest common ground between us? Iman. Jazakumullah khair. That's true. Because we have Arabs and non-Arabs. True or false? We have Canadian, non-Canadian. We have males and females. So females, they have background. Males, they have a background. Pakistani people have background. Indian people have background. Arabs have background. But all of us, we join one exclusive big background, which is our faith and our deen. This is the biggest. So therefore, square number one, part of this big background, which is Iman and Islam, tells us, and I'm doing now what Allah has commanded us in the Quran, وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Remind, because a reminder does benefit the believer. If you are a believer, a reminder, regardless who said this reminder, will benefit you. So we are part of the creation, and we believe that Allah is the creator. When this creator created this creation, he took decisions in his design, in his existence. Part of what we know, because actually we have no idea about ghaib, unseen. We have nothing of knowledge about what happened millions or trillions or thousands of years ago, unless Allah decided to tell us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the following. Number one, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. This is the first message now, with a possible fixing misconception. This is very well known ayah in the Quran. Verily indeed, I have not created the jinn and the human being but to worship me. Hajj is part of the worship. But, pause please. Worship in this ayah does not, which is in Arabic ibadah, we are not discussing the ritual worship. When Allah says, verily indeed I have not created the jinn and the human being but to worship, let's go to Arabic language. Abada ya'budu ibada abid. In any time we need to go to Arabic language, because Allah decided to reveal this Quran in Arabic. What's the meaning of ibadah? Abada. The root verb of. You go to the dictionaries, ibadah means full submission without any kind of preconditions to anything. So anyone submits himself, full obedience for anything, a group, people, party, person, family, tribe, country, he's a worshipper. So when Allah says, therefore Prophet Muhammad said in an amazing hadith, قال تعس عبد الدينار. Woe unto thee, he is the loser, the one who worships the money, the dinar. تعس عبد الدرهم. تعس عبد الخميصة. Khamisa in Arabic, it's a type of a cloth. In our nowadays words, the hadith means, woe unto thee, he is the loser, the one who worships the fashion. Fashion? Do some people of us worship fashion? With the definition that I said now? With the definition, full obedience and following for something without any precondition. Do we have worshippers for fashion? With the definition? I repeat. Ibadah means full submission. Prophet Muhammad said, he is the loser who worships the money. Do we have worshippers for money? No? Are you sure? I repeat. The definition of ibadah, full obedience without any condition. Do we have people, for the sake of money, they are ready to do anything regardless of haram or halal? Yes or no? They are worshippers. This is the fixing of the misconception. So anyone, if you does something without putting conditions in Arabic language and Islamic terminology, you are a worshipper, abid. Now, for example, drugs, having money through drugs, haram. Do we have Muslims who bring money through drugs? Yes or no? Type. Alcohol, selling, buying, trading is haram. Do we have Muslims who sell, buy, drink alcohol or not? So do they care with restrictions, or they follow their desire and need and their prestige and their own interest? This is ibadah. So depending on this meaning, we have worshippers for their desires. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you not seen the one who took his desire as his own God? But how come my desire is my God? The God basically should be obeyed completely. If I'm obeying my desire says, now I want to enjoy drugs. Okay, let's enjoy. I want to commit, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, zina. Let's enjoy it. I want to lie cheat, giving bribe, kill, steal, cheat, run, whatever. I'm following what? My desire. So my desire has been replaced with God. I'm worshipping my desire instead of God. Depending on this meaning, we go back to my ayah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Verily indeed I have not created the jinn and the human being but to worship me. The worship here means full obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why, respected brothers and sisters, Allah decided to call his religion what? Islam or Iman or Muhammadanism. What is the name of our religion? Islam. What is the definition of Islam? Islam goes to two roots in Arabic. Silm and Taslim. Peace and submission. Submit to your Lord, you achieve peace. Submission. What is submission? What do you say? Surrounding yourself. Now as a soldier, the commander will say, yes sir. Right, yes sir. Left, yes sir. Go and do action. Yes sir. What is yes sir? Submission to the commandments. This is the core meaning of Islam. Type. This is number one. Now points. Number two. Now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam and Eve, Adam and Hawa alayhim as-salam, may Allah be pleased with both of them, and sent them down, immediately Allah started giving them directions. We call it revelation, wahi, starting from Adam up to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now in light of understanding this ayah, full submission, full obedience, following the commandments, starting from Adam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us to be here, to do a role, to fulfill a mission on this earth. When it finishes, we will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Through this journey, we know about 25 prophets and messengers. True or false? But what did Allah said about the rest? قال وَرُسُلًا لَمْ نَقْصُصْهُمْ عَلَيْكَ. We know by names, for example, Adam alayhi salam. We know Nuh alayhi salam, Idris alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam. We know Musa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, Ilyas alayhi salam, Dawood alayhi salam, Sulaiman alayhi salam, Zakaria. We know by names. However, Prophet Muhammad said, وَرُسُلًا لَمْ نَقْصُصْهُمْ عَلَيْكَ. Other prophets and messengers we have not told you about. Prophet Muhammad in a sound hadith was asked. Now I'm trying to connect points, as I told you. I have like a puzzle. Point, then we will connect. Point number two, Prophet Muhammad was asked, Ya Rasulullah, ma iddatul anbiya'i wal rusul. What is the number of prophets and messengers? He said, عدة الأنبياء 124 ألفا الرسل منهم 315. Look, we know 25. However, Prophet Muhammad said in this hadith, the number of prophets are 124,000 prophets. The messengers, out of them 315. Look now, we know 25 out of more than 120,000. They were sent to do what? To convey the commandments of Allah, how to fulfill our duty of ibadah, which is obedience for Allah in everything we know. So we need to know that Prophet Muhammad came the last one after 124,000. Now we don't know the age of humanity. We don't know the exact number of human beings. They could be trillions, billions. Allah did not tell us, so it's part of ilm al-ghayb. We have no idea. But we know for sure that Muhammad is the last one. Okay. Now Muhammad, the last one, his book is the Quran, his miracle, contains the cream of all messages that they came before him. This is second message. Keep it in your mind. Puzzle 1, 2, now 3. All prophets and messengers, they came with one religion, not different religions, in terms of faith and values. No change. No change at all. But different sharia, different laws. That's why I say Shari'at Muhammad, Shari'at Isa, Shari'at Musa, Shari'at Ibrahim. What's the difference? When we say the core of the religion, it's faith and values. Yani, All prophets and messengers, the 25 plus the 124,000, they came with one religion if we are discussing faith. Allah is one, Allah is one, Allah is one, Allah is one. There is a hereafter, there is a hereafter, there is a hereafter. Don't worship except Allah, don't worship except Allah. Don't take associators. Values, don't ever kill, okay, innocent person. No changing. Don't lie, no change. Respect your parents, no change. There was no time in the history that, for example, being rude with your parents was permissible and it's up to you. Then we had a new upgraded, uplifted system. Now you have to respect your parents half, it's up to you. Then 20,000 years ago, Allah decided to uplift and upgrade the system. No. From day one, from Adam and Eve, all faith, things, all big values are the same, no change. That is the meaning when we say, Inna ad-deen inda Allah al-Islam. This is the deen, faith and values. However, different shara'a, different laws. That's why if we have, for example, the Torah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He sent the Torah. Do you know that in Hebrew, Torah means what? In Hebrew, this is a Hebrew word, Torah. Torah means Sharia. In English, L-A-W, which? Law. Okay? But what is the meaning of gospel? Good news, glad tidings. Prophet Isa came with the good news, with the new laws as a good news for the people of Israel to fix their relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Suhuf Ibrahim, the scriptures, to do, not to do. So different laws, different practical, technical things. Yes, we have changes, no problem. For example, how many days X nation they used to fast? We don't know. 30, 40, 50, no problem. On what specific things X nation they were asked to fast, not to eat, not to drink, for how many hours? No problem. Maybe one of the very interesting things, do you know that Jews at a certain time of their legislations, when someone has a najasa, which is the impure specific things in Islam, such as blood, stool, urine, we call them najasat, okay? If my body has blood or urine or stool or my clothes, I'm not allowed to pray unless if I what? Cleanse, clean, okay? How do we cleanse this thing? With water. Do you know at a certain time in Judaism in the history, Jewish practicing person, if he had blood or urine in his body, in his clothes, it's not valid to wash it by water. He must cut the piece by a scissor and remove it completely. Even if it's washed by water, it was not acceptable and invalid prayer. It is his hukum. I'm not discussing why, when, how. It was legislation, sharia, law at a certain time. And we go on. Okay, what's the point now? The point now, all of these legislations differs, ups, downs, ups, downs, ups, downs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to stop it, to finish it, and to give the cream of it for humanity through Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was the seal of the prophets. I need to be aware before discussing the Hajj. Be careful. We are living in the West. Your kids are living with hundreds of non-Muslims. So when they are asked, where is your father? My father went to Hajj. Oh, you Muslims, you are paganists. What? You go to worship a black stone. Your kid might lose his faith. Are you with me? If he does not understand the justification, the history, the big picture of what is the Hajj in this big picture. So I'm still in the big picture. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as I said, he received the final of all of this. Now, let's come to the Kaaba. Let's fix another misconception. Regardless who was the first one who built the Kaaba, because we have a big debate. Was it the angels or Adam alayhi salam or Ibrahim? To your knowledge, we don't have a sound hadith, authentic hadith about angels or Adam. So please just forget it. What do we have as a sure fixed information in the Quran? Who built the Kaaba? Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay? Now, Kaaba is a basic part of Hajj. Okay? And the direction of our prayer. So you need to know that Allah mentioned the Kaaba because tawaf, circling around the Kaaba, is the second pillar of Hajj. Hajj has main pillars. The first one, the intention and the ihram, which means to declare your intention that you want to perform the Hajj from a specific location. Second part, to do the tawaf, circling around the Kaaba. It's a pillar. I need to have an idea about the Kaaba in this context. Then we have a third pillar, which is standing for a while in Arafah. And I have a specific point for Arafah related to our time and into the hereafter. Then we have the sa'i between Safa and Marwa, then the tahallul, to do the shaving or having part of your hair. Let's come to the Kaaba now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the Kaaba in a specific context. He was praising Ibrahim alayhi salam, Khalilullah, one of the greatest prophets in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the Kaaba, that is basic pillar of Hajj, and we do perform, what is the title of our talk? The philosophy of Hajj and sacrifice in Islam. Why do we perform the Hajj? And why do we sacrifice? Because some people, they say, you are shedding blood for the sake of Allah. Sheikh, what are you doing? You might, even though 95% except the vegetarians, they do sacrifice to eat. But when it comes to Hajj, Muslims, they are sacrificing, animals. Okay. And I think McDonald's, his hamburger, I think it's from what? From what? From vegetarians? The burger, all secular, non-believer restaurants on earth, do they eat meat or not? How do they eat meat? They bring what? They they slaughter animals. So when we come to sacrificing animals, as if Muslims, they are the only group on the, galaxy. Okay? They do sacrifice animals or they slaughter animals. All people, they do it. You need to defend yourself, to be proud. This is part of something Allah created and accepted. But it has a significance in our religion. We will come to it. Next point now. Now, Ibrahim alayhi salam, just to have an idea about one of the basic pillars of the Hajj. وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَأَمْنًا وَاتَّخِذُوا مِنْ مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى وَعَهِدْنَا إِلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ أَنْ طَهِّرَا بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ. To have an idea about what does this place out of Hajj mean for us. And remember, when we made the sacred house, so this is a sacred house, Allah decided to give this status for it, a center and a sanctuary for the people, saying you may take the standing place of Abraham as a site of prayer. And we entrusted Abraham and Ishmael alayhi salam to purify my house for those who circle it, who meditate in it, and who bow and prostrate themselves in prayer. Right. Second message related to Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam. Those two important figures, Allah praised them while they were building this place that we direct ourselves to, and it's a basic perform of the philosophy of the Hajj. When they were mentioned, Allah was giving us an amazing, beautiful message about the love and respect between father and son. This is the message of the Quran. By the way, are you aware or not that fitrah, inner nature, is under risk now? Are you aware or not? The human nature is under risk. We are beyond the whole idea of that someone will drink alcohol, or someone will commit fornication, or someone will... No. The human nature is about to be changed now. You know what happens now around the world about the gender fluidity, about the whole idea of this big debate and discussion. You might not be a male or even a female. You decide what, the whole idea. Now, which means in 20, 25 years, the concept of family should not exist. Do you know this? Do you know what does it mean when everyone will be convinced completely, regardless of how is your biological birth? You might anything else be. 20 years later, what will be the status of humanity? No families. What is called the traditional family, father, mother, daughter, son, and the full, this kind of, structure, social structure. By the way, we did not design, and Allah took a decision with that. The idea of respecting the parents. When Allah created us, He created us as male and female. وَأَنَّهُ خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى. Part of this, Allah decided in His design of the creation, after worshipping Him immediately, He made immediately وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Allah has ordained that do not worship any or none but Him, and respect and be respectful to your parents. If the concept of parenting is about to be demolished, what will happen to humanity? Now the Quran in this, one of the greatest things is giving us in the Hajj, in building the Kaaba, that the two figures, they were building the center of direction of our Qibla. There was a father and a son. Pause. This father is one of the greatest prophets. He had a dream, a vision. And the dream or the vision of prophets, it's part of the revelation. قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك. It's okay. Maybe it's not wise to say exactly, before the kids. You might not be able to, digest this meaning. But the vision that Ibrahim alayhi salam saw about his son. In our human mind, you can't digest it. You can't understand it. He was asked to do something really very difficult. But he was what? Submissive to Allah. He went to his son. Oh my son, I saw myself in the dream doing such and such. قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. جواد شيك لي الصابرين ولا الصالحين؟ صابرين. Okay. You see, oh my father, do whatever you've been commanded. Look, this is core point of Hajj now. Do what you've been commanded, even though superficially it's against fitrah, against feelings, against desire, against everything, if it's up to you. If it's up to you. Do you hurt your son? No. But he was asked to sacrifice his son. He came in a very polite way. Oh, my son, I've sown such and such. What do you think? Ya abati, do whatever you've been commanded. The core message, the family, respect, obedience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From here comes part of the philosophy. Before we discuss the idea of Kaaba and the place and going there and why we circled 7 times. No. Behind this, who did it? What was the scene? What was happening between them? The core point of Islam, submission, taslim. Okay? We will go back, we will move to another point. Now, in light of this, to understand the very beautiful thing of Hajj, and after these 2 things, I will be concluding and having the big picture, and now I will finish my talk. Now, you as Muslims need to understand the following, to enjoy Islam. In Islam, we have 2 big files of legislations, ahkam, tashri'at. 2 main areas, big files, big folders. In Arabic, we call them ahkam mu'allala and ahkam ghayr mu'allala, ta'abbudiyya. What do you mean by ahkam mu'allala? This is in Islamic jurisprudence, في علم أصول الفقه. In Islamic jurisprudence, ahkam mu'allala, we have teachings that are fully justified. You can realize the wisdom behind them clearly by simple thinking or by some kind of a little bit deep thinking. You understand why this hukum or this shara or this legislation or this, why this is haram. For example, I ask you, lying and cheating are haram in Islam. Is it very difficult for you to understand why lying is haram? It's very harmful. It destroys everything. It destroys trust. You can't have trading. You can't trust. You can't get married. Lying destroys everything. So when we say lying is haram, do you need really a justification to understand why it should be haram? No, it's by default understand for that why it's haram. طيب. Being nice with your parents is an obligation. Can we realize the wisdom behind it? They are the main reason of your existence. They put all kind of efforts of their life for you to be a man or to be a woman. They took care of you. They were sweating. They were striving. They were doing amazing things. So, you know, by nature, if someone smiles in your face, you feel happy. If someone gives you a glass of water, if you are thirsty, you will keep thanking him. What about someone spend his hair life completely for you? So repaying back by natural common sense. So respecting parents, it's an obligation. We can understand why this hukum is wajib, when it's an obligation. And sometimes we need some deep thinking. Why riba is prohibited. You need to understand the concept of money and how the money circulates. So controllers, you need some extra knowledge. But you can understand it because it's not the time and I can't explain it, but it's amazingly beautiful when you understand it. You can go on. But why prayer is an obligation? Prayer from the word salah. Salah from the word sila, which means connection. Ya Allah, to be connected with your Lord, do you need a justification why you and we need to be connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? One of the best times in our lives when we chat with our friends. When we chat with those whom we love, and we feel much more happy if we chat or connect or speak with people of power. True or false? If anyone else has a chance, let's imagine, because I don't know your political, you see, for example, feelings, but this is a theoretical example, because we are living in Canada, and now, let's say, our leader or our boss or our president is Justin Trudeau. Let's imagine that you are all liberals. Do you feel happy or not when you sit with Justin Trudeau? He is the leader. He is the whatever you want to call him. So you feel happy because part of why you feel happy, because you are with someone who is special and has the power. I mean, what distinguishes the boss or the king or the leader of a country, basically, in theory, he is the most powerful person in that country. Power means what? His willpower will be applied when he wishes. What does power mean, yani? If I'm a multi-billionaire and I'm a king, anything you ask me, I can do it for you. That's why you might not respect me, but you will be very happy to be close from me. Because simply you need me. True or false? So when we think about Salah, if we human beings, we do this with each other for political reasons, for money, for power, for prestige, for whatever. What about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Any politician could die at any moment. Any rich person could lose his wealth at any moment. Any person of prestige or fame could lose this famous attitude or whatever at any moment for whatever reason. Is it possible that Allah will lose his power? Is it possible that Allah might die? No, that's why part of why we need Allah. So when we speak about the prayer, means connection, Allah Al-Kareem, the most generous, is asking us to be connected with the mightiest power in this universe for our benefit. I'm giving you an idea about the justification of when we say ahkam mu'allala, which means why prayer is an obligation, why zakah is a must. So that you solve the problem of the needy people, the kind of balance and justice and so on and so on and so on. And why zina, fornication is prohibited? It destroys the trust, the lineage. When every man thinks or he is not having the trust that this son is his. Why should I care with his family? Why? And by the way, this happens This happens in many parts of the world. Why easily the family is broken? Because in many cultures and many societies, men, most likely they are not sure that the children are theirs, and women, they don't care who are the fathers, so therefore the destruction of the family. It's part of why zina is haram, and we can keep going on. طيب. Now, this is the general idea of the vast majority, up to 92, 95, maybe 97% of Islamic legislations. However, we have a small part of Islam, ahkam, teachings, we don't have justification for them. And they are called ahkam ta'abbudiyya. Ta'abbudiyya, its Islamic terminology means do it as an act of worship regardless of the justification. Such as, why do we direct ourselves to the Kaaba when we pray? If someone asks logically, does Allah exist? Yes. Is He able to hear us wherever I am? Yes. Why am I supposed to direct myself? Commandment of Allah. Obedience for His commandments. طيب. Why do you pray 5 times? Is there a logical answer? But what if we prayed 4 times? Do you think the divinity of Allah will decrease? No. But if we decided out of love for Allah to pray 6 times? No. This is bid'ah, innovation, and haram. طيب. We pray Fajr 2 rak'ah and Maghrib 3 rak'ah. What if we replace them? Logically. Any problem? Logically. No problem. But why we pray Dhuhr 4 and not 3? Why we pray Isha 4 and not 2? Why Fajr 2 and not 3.5 or 4 and why? By the way, keep asking million questions, no answer. But why do we do circling tawaf around the Kaaba, and the Kaaba should be to our left? What if I'm a free person, I want to do tawaf for the sake of Allah and to put the Kaaba on my right side? What's the logically? What's the problem? Obey the commandments. But why do we sa'i between Safa and Marwa 7 times, next 5 times? An answer? No. This is, by the way, 3-4% of Islam. There is no answer. What is the answer? Obey the commandments. By the way, this is not Islam. Be careful. The vast majority of Islam is justifiable. This is part of the test of Allah decided to do it, because, by the way, whatever you change, the question will still be valid. Yani, if Allah sent Jibril now, and we were aware that it is Jibril, and Allah decided to change the prayer to make it 3. Let's imagine this happened now. The question will be still valid. What is the next question? Why 3? Why not 6? Half of the population will be asking, why not 6? Type. Yeah, I love Allah. I would love Allah to make prayer 7. Endless arguments. At the end, Allah wants you to pray. Pray, close the file. Allah wants you to come to the Hajj. But yeah, Allah, something justifiable or something not justifiable. The majority is, you can and realize the wisdom behind it. You need to know that in the big picture before we start talking about sacrificing, tawaf, sa'i, shaving. What's the shaving? What's the problem? Does Allah need this hair from me? No, ya habibi, Allah does not need this hair for you. قُلْ مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ. Allah said clearly in the Quran, قُلْ لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. Allah will not receive the blood when you sacrifice. I will not receive the flesh, of the animals. Allah will receive your piety, your mindfulness, your respect, your obedience for the commandments. This is the idea. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. I will give you an idea, because this is basic part of the Hajj. This is basic part of the Hajj. Because if I kept putting my mind, Sheikh, from fiqh point of view, okay, what if I decided to such and such? Is acceptable and unacceptable? And all the time I'm busy with my mobile, or I'm doing what? Or I'm thinking about the last movie that I was watching. I'm completely outside of the whole idea of the Hajj. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. I will give you a simple example. Do most, if not all countries except Switzerland on earth have armies or not? Is there a powerful country without an army? No. طيب. The army, is it something very important for any country or not? طيب. What is the most important thing, element in the power of an army, do you think? Numbers, arms, economy, strength, leader, strength. طيب strength with traitorship. Spies. I will tell you. You know what is the most important thing in an army? What? Jazakallahu khairan. Discipline, obedience, submission. Imagine if every soldier has his own freedom to decide what to do whenever he wants to do it. What is the power of the army? Even if it's 10 million soldiers. If the main general commandments, they say, my soldiers, we have a big enemy outside. We want you to do X, Y, Z. They say, excuse me, sir, I'm a free person. I think, no, it's not important. Now, what? Soldier, yes, sir, go to such and such and attack that area. No, sir, I think they are very good, nice people. I don't want to do so. What? You know, in the army, if when they say, for example, you know, the salute, what they say, for example, they say, yes, sir, some armies, you have to do it in this way. Some of them, you do it in this way. Some of them, you do it in this way. Some of them, the parade, okay? To that side or that side. You have no right even to change the side of the flag. If, wallahi, I was shocked when I knew that some countries, they do it like this. If you do it like this, you will go to the military court. Do you know this or not? Wow. Question. If I have a great love for my country, and I'm a very well soldier, and really I have a good attitude, but whenever they ask me to stand in the line and to say, yes, sir, I refuse. Give me a title. Give me a title. Am I good or bad? By the way, I have a very good intention. And very nice. But I don't listen to the commandments. Give me a title. In political, military terminology. Human terminology. Disobedience. What else? I'm always doing it. Traitor. Yes. I'm not listening. This is an indication that I don't care. I'm giving you a simple example. You know, in some armies, if you don't polish your boots in the early morning, after the morning training, you will go to the courts. What problem my enemy will face in case if I did not polish my boots? Nothing. But my army will lose the strength of obedience and discipline. Got my point? The same thing applicable on the family. The same thing is applicable on school, company, private sector. Time should be at 8 a.m. Everyone comes whenever he wishes. There is no company, no work, no business. So I'm just giving you an idea because some people, because of the secularization and the personal freedom in the public system, I think, I believe, I feel, I don't care, who cares? They will start questioning this thing. Why should I do such and such? Because he lost the whole idea of respect and obedience and discipline. So when we come to Hajj, so be careful. Hajj contains some kind of practical, technical things. Not necessarily they are meant for themselves. They are part of the test of obedience and submission. The general idea contains an amazing wisdom behind it. Let's come to my point, which will be, inshallah, before the final one. In light of all of these introductions, I will come you to the most important part of Hajj exclusively. And in case, if Brother Mansour asked me to come here and I have just 7 to 10 minutes. Let's imagine this is a family gathering and you are very busy, you have a schedule. I'm a guest for 10 minutes and you asked me to give something about Hajj no more than 10 minutes. Now, if I have just 10 or less minutes, the only point that I will mention about the Hajj is what I will be mentioning now, which is Arafa. Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, Al-Hajju Arafa. The core of the Hajj is Arafa. Now, technically, Arafa is a pillar where Muslims, they are gathered from around the globe, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 millions in one place. Please focus now. Try to be with me as if we are in a visual journey. 5 millions representing the Islamic Ummah. All men, no one has a hat on his head to show his military rank or his ethnic origin or his prestige or his wealth or whatever. You are not allowed to wear anything on your hands or your neck to show your power, your wealth, nothing at all. The clothes, which is one of the most important signs of our power, prestige and wealth. True or false? Now, our suits, males and females, does it show my wealth or not? Yes, sometimes, especially when I have the brands, my t-shirt is a brand, my suit is a brand, my whatever, call brand, say, whoa, look, his boot is just $200, his jacket, he's wearing $1,000, whoa, mashallah, yeah, I wish if I wear him. No. But I'm a big general in the military. No one has any kind of prestige. Okay, in practice, no perfume, no emotional sexual relations, no prestige, no recognition, no ranks, nothing at all. But what is this? You know what's this? And please focus. This is the most important statement in my speech. Arafah is an annual training for humanity to prepare themselves for the Day of Judgment. What is the Day of Judgment? We will be gathered after every single person has already passed away from Adam for the resurrection, al-ba'th, and congregation for accountability in the Day of Judgment, which is the most important and dangerous, fearful or beautiful moment in our life, by the way. By the way, death is not the most fearful moment. No. You know why? Death is not an exit from this dunya to the barzakh, which is na'im al-qabr or adhab al-qabr, which is the pleasure of the grave or the punishment. But according to the hadith sahih, if I passed away tonight and I had some kind of shortcomings, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إذا مات ابن آدم انقطع عمله إلا من ثلاث. If someone passed away, his connection with the dunya in terms of receiving the ajr, okay, or the rewards will be completely disconnected except from 3 channels. One of them, sadaqah jariyah, the continuous charity, like having a masjid or a dar Quran or type. And ilmun yuntafa'u bihi. He was teaching the people, there is ulama. And the most important one for all of us, which is waladun salihun yad'u lah. Righteous, pious son or daughter making dua and good deeds for him after his death. That's why according to the hadith sahih, the man or the woman, after he passed away, in his status will be uplifted in his grave. He will be asked, why I'm having better condition? It's because of the dua of your son or daughter after death. So death in itself, it's not that big deal. The biggest moments, the most horrible moment is the Day of Judgment. When people from Adam up to the end of this will be gathered, resurrected on a piece of land, and that time we will know the many hadith about hadith al-shafa'ah, the succession. Okay, the people will be gathering, big 50,000 years. We will be there for accountability for everything we have done, we have said, we have decided and acted. And we have people who will be high ranked like the VIPs, and people are waiting for that. Now after that, the decision will be, each one of us will be receiving either in his left hand, his book, or in the Quran, وأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فيقول يا هاؤم اقرءوا كتابي. The one who will be passing the exam and will be from the people of the Jannah, he will receive the sign is his book will be taken by his right hand. Out of his, joy and happiness, he will start screaming and shouting. He say, هاؤم اقرءوا. In Arabic, the word ha in فصيحة Arabic, the word هاؤم اقرءوا كتابي, it's like when someone is so happy, starts screaming and shouting, hey, I am the first, do you know that? This is exactly the word هاؤم اقرءوا in the day of judgment. Why? I'm the people of the Jannah. I was giving the glad tidings. That moment that we will be there for accountability, and there is a record, we don't know how, big screen, big whatever, everything I said I did. Look now, if you have a good deeds, you will be very happy. Trillions of people will be witnessing, then I will be given the stamp or the visa going to the Jannah. I ask every one of you to be from the people of the Jannah. If it's the other way, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله, it will be the disaster. What is the importance of the Hajj? Preparing us in this life at least once a year or once a life to remove all kind of connections with this dunya. No power, no wealth, no prestige, no rank, nothing at all. Piece of cloth, just upper and lower, no indication. Just keep asking Allah, remembering that you and me will be standing in the day of judgment, waiting for our final destination. If we don't know anything about the Hajj except this point, it's more than enough. Do you know what this means? You will be aware of this. You will be mindful of this. By the way, this is the most important fact in Islam, by the way. And what is the proof of that? And I will finish my talk now. Go and quick review to the Quran. And you, by yourself, check. We have all mobiles now. Easily you can say, يؤمنون بالله or آمنوا بالله. Just check the word آمنوا يؤمن بالله, these two words, and see how tens of times it's always connected with اليوم الآخر. Even though the pillars of the articles of faith, they are 6. تؤمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه, true or false? Most of the time, when believing in Allah is mentioned, directly it's connected with يوم الآخر. اليوم يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. بالله واليوم الآخر. بالله واليوم. Why? There will be the final destination, final decision, and no, it's irreversible thing. No رجع, ما في. قال رب ارجعون. Oh ya Allah, give me one. قال إنها كلمة هو قائلها. So preparing yourself to the most horrible or most beautiful, by the way, moment in your life, which is irreversible, is very vital. What will help you to do this? One of the greatest training courses is Hajj. The most important thing in the Hajj, Arafah. In light of this way of understanding, we can enjoy understanding Islam. I gave you an example, and I would love to ask you, please, brothers and sisters, do your best to educate your children in this way. When you speak about something, spare a time to explain to them the connection. Put them in the big picture. Not just because, by the way, this generation will be either holding Islam or La subhanallah. Because by the way, this is the sunnah, this is the law of Allah. We are now, let's say, I'm 55. I believe maybe at least 20% of you in my age. So the average of our time is 5 to 10 years now. Khalas, you are living. Next generation, 30s, 40s, you have an average 15, 20 years. Now the children, the kids now who are listening to us, they will be holding or, God forbid, losing. How they will be held? They need to be proud. How they will be proud? They need to understand and to practice, see a role model, connection, love, and knowledge. Look how important what I'm talking about is. The core point of Islam is to worship Allah. The core point of Islam is Tawheed, to believe that Allah is the one who deserves to be worshipped. Yet the first ayah in Islam was not prostrate, usjud. Was not irka', knee down. Was not obey, was what? Iqra. Because if there is no iqra, no reading, no sujood, no ruku', no obedience. That's why the importance of such gatherings is much important than anything else. Wallahu alam, jazakumullah khair. for being, I need to thank you for something. You know what is it? I did not imagine, wallahi, I really appreciate, brothers, how you take care of your kids to listen to someone like me for a full hour without causing any noise. Wallahi, I greet you and I appreciate how you take care of your kids. Jazakumullah khair. Whenever I give a speech, there are kids, I'm always worried that I can't control, my speech because of the kids. Jazakumullah khair. This gives me an indication how, you have a great, I don't know what is it. There is a secret, inshallah, in your society, which I really admire. How, to what level you teach your kids the discipline. This is a good indication. And by the way, the majority of you are from Pakistan? Right. Let me give you a glad tidings. I finished my talk, by the way. Khalas. I'm 55 now. I have visited in my life 30 countries with about 300 cities. And I taught in 12 countries. And I lived for 13 years in Canada, United States, UK, Russia, and Turkey. Okay? When I say 300 cities, from the far east of China or Hong Kong up to Los Angeles, including San Diego and San Jose. The only place that I did not visit on earth is South America, Latin America. Number one on earth who were honored to build masajid for the sake of Allah are Pakistani people. Do you know this? I witnessed by my own eyes in 300 cities. Wallah, I visited places, I thought that the jinn will not reach there. I thought I'm the only person there. Then I discovered a Pakistani brother 100 years ago built a masjid there. Wallah, I witnessed something, mashallah. In the place where I did my PhD, which was Birmingham in the UK. Birmingham in the UK, when I was there, I wasn't there in 97. In 97, Birmingham used to have 400 masjids at that time. 45 of them, they were proper masajid with minarat and mi'dana. The rest, they are all what? Houses, warehouses. 95% of them, they were built by or established by Pakistani brothers. Now the beautiful thing, most of the masajid in the UK, they are built by Pakistani brothers back in Pakistan, villagers. Not from the rich people of the UK. By the way, Allah gave you a secret. Please take care of it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Allah gave you like a gift. Like for example, reciting the Quran, it's a gift for Egyptian people. Writing the Quran, it's a gift for Turkish people. Building the masajid is a gift for Pakistani people. Now, take care of this. Taking care of a masajid means you need to take care of the people of the masjid. And you need to let every single person that comes out of you a great leader that loves the masjid and support the masjid and bring the people to the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your deeds. Jazakumullahu khairan. Barakallahu feekum. Thank you for allowing me to be with you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullahu khairan.